Hey everyone, prepare yourself for one of the most interesting but weirdest entitled parent stories you'll have ever seen. Entitled Mum Pees Off Goats. I'm a happy single 39-year-old male. I live in a nice neighborhood just outside of town. My neighborhood is a single street with about 2 acres per household. I still look like I'm 18 if I shave. Baby goats are called kids. A little background for you. Well, there you go, that was very straight to the point. 2 weeks ago, my goats had 2 kids. I don't know if you've ever seen baby goats in person, but they are adorable. My male goat Bruce is a Nubian goat and the female Lily is a fainting goat. They had a male and a female. The male is Sir Flops-a-Lot and the female is Esmeralda. If I knew how to post pictures, I would. I obviously love my animals. Now in the edit, I'm just going to jump to it now. OP has actually linked 2 pictures of their animals. Oh my god, that's like a patchwork goat. So that's Bruce the male goat and this is Lily and her kids. Oh my god, so cute. My neighbors love my animals as well. They feed my dog leftover steak any chance they see him outside. Their daughter visits with the goats every day and has been so excited for the 2 new baby goats. She named them. Yesterday was like any normal Sunday. I usually take my dog for a car ride and then we walk in a local park for an hour or so. My cell phone rang and it was my cool neighbors alerting me to a random minivan sitting in my driveway by the garage. I live in Eastern Tennessee. Minivans are not too popular. My neighbors were just letting me know that someone was sitting in my driveway. I wasn't expecting anyone and I don't know anyone with a minivan, so I told them that I didn't know anyone with a minivan and that I'd be on my way back. I was about 30 minutes away. They rang back and said some lady got out and ran down to where I have my goat pen. I have my goat pen split at the moment to separate Bruce from the kids and Lily. Male goats sometimes play too rough with their kids out of jealousy. When I arrived home and pulled down into my driveway, I was met by Bruce standing on the hood of a beat-up looking minivan. Also, the sheriff and some police from the town were in my upper driveway / parking area talking with some fat lady. I parked in my driveway behind the minivan and asked Bruce what he was doing out. Obviously he didn't answer, he is a goat after all. But the fat lady came running over, screaming at me that she was going to sue my parents, and I needed to get them there right away. The sheriff and police officers were right on her heels and caught her before she made it to me. This may not be verbatim, but it's what I recall. "You are in so much trouble. That goat attacked me, then it destroyed my minivan. Get your parents here this instant." "What the F are you doing on my property?" The sheriff then said to me, "Sir, is that your goat?" "Yes, that's Bruce." This lady claims it attacked her and her car when she pulled into the driveway to turn around. My neighbors came out when they heard the commotion. My cool neighbors said, "She didn't pull in to turn around, she went down to the goat pen. We have it on video." I'll need to see that video. If she did go down to the pen, I'll also have it on video from the pen and from the house. The fat lady was sweating and started to back up like she was going to make a break for it. She backed right up into the deputy. The look on her face was of absolute horror. "Could you put your goat away?" "No problem. Give me a few minutes and I'll get the video recording from the pen while I'm down there." I put Bruce away and noticed that he had destroyed the fencing right by the gate to his side. I also noticed that the gate to the kid's side was unchained and Esmeralda was missing. I grabbed the SD card and ran up the hill screaming that I'm missing a baby goat. "Where's my baby goat, you dog-faced female dog? How dare you talk to me like that?" "Mom, if you know, now's the time to tell." "I don't know what you're talking about. Look at my van, it's ruined. I need an ambulance after what that gosh darn, not what she said, goat did to me." Bruce got out again and came charging back up the hill and climbed back on the hood of the van, screaming his head off. It dawned on me that maybe she put Esmeralda in her van, but the police officers were quicker. The deputy said, "Mom, open your van. Sir, control your goats." "I'll try, but his fencing looks like he beat it all up in anger." I put my dog's harness on him and clipped into the dog run. She kept giving excuses why she won't open her van, but we all knew the real reason. She opened her van finally and the stench just rolled out. "Oh my god, what is that smell?" "Scared baby goat poop, you idiot. You're lucky there are cops here." "You're going to ruin my new van. You'll be hearing from my lawyer." "You'll get to speak to him after we get you back to the station. Cuff her." I took Esmeralda back and checked to see if she was hurt. She wasn't, just scared. My neighbor's daughter carried her back down to the pen and I grabbed another panel to fix where Bruce broke out. The deputy took the crazy lady away. The sheriff and my cool neighbors came in to watch the security footage. Apparently, she snagged Esmeralda and was coming back for Sir Flops-a-Lot when Bruce broke out. You could see her turn around and start waddling up the hill and Bruce charging right for her. She got nailed right in the hips. He got her again in the shoulder as she got up. She shoved Bruce down and tried to get in her van, but Bruce rammed her driver's side door. He then jumped/climbed on her hood and was tap dancing his anger out. We replayed her getting nailed in the hip many times. The sheriff was laughing. We were all laughing. That's unbelievable. Alright guys, and in the edit as well, OP has actually said, I will post the video when I get it back from the sheriff. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set you all a little challenge. If this video gets 10,000 likes, I promise that I will show OP's video as soon as he gets it. It's really difficult for me to keep a track of every edit and update on every single Entitled Parents story that I read. Obviously, I read multiple a day, and to keep a track of all of them is so hard. But if this video gets 10,000 likes, I promise I will check back on this post every single day to see if he's posted the video. And then, if and when he does, it will be in a video as soon as he does it. So there's your challenge, 10,000 likes. I know you guys can do it, but it's gonna be tough. Now, as for the actual story, I mean, I'm absolutely speechless. That is one of the most insane stories I've ever read. I honestly feel like this subreddit is getting better and better. The level of story is just going up and up. I love it. Comment down below, guys. I'll give you one word to describe this story. Absolutely anything you want. Mine would probably be ludicrous. Now for our second story. Now, if this one is anything like the first, we are in for another treat. Entitled Mum attempts to kick me out of a shop for being vaccinated. Okay, here we go. So, for a little bit of backstory, I'm not too sure if this applies in other countries, but in Australia, we had to get vaccinated in school. Specifically in our year level for a disease, I don't remember which. I ended up being sick the day we were supposed to get vaccinated. My mum isn't an anti-vaxxer, I was just sick on the day, but I did end up getting my vaccines. A few days ago, after I got my vaccination, my family went out to a shopping mall. I was allowed to look around for a little bit by myself, so I decided to go to EB Games, which is basically an Aussie GameStop. A little while later, my dad comes in and drops my little brother off, says I had to keep him with me, that sort of stuff. He was going to get lunch with mum, and he was sitting far away. So he says goodbye and jokingly punches me in the shoulder right where I got my vaccination. This was a joke. My dad doesn't abuse me, okay? Yes, don't worry, I didn't actually think that. This hurt as my arms were still sore from the vaccines. I said, ow, Dad, that's where I got my vaccines. He apologizes and wanders off. It's quite a small shop, so I let my little brother go to the back and look at Minecraft stuff. Not even a minute after Dad leaves, a tall woman who looked in her 30s approaches me. Excuse me, little boy. Hey, what's up? I couldn't help but hear you got vaccinated. Yeah? Well, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. I don't want to get infected. And I certainly don't want my little boy's present getting infected. Sorry, Mum, but I'm not going to leave. Vaccines keep me from diseases. They don't give me diseases. If you believe this, then we could just keep a distance between us. The entitled mum is clearly getting frustrated now. No, you have diseases in you, and for the sake of the public, I'm going to need you to leave and quarantine yourself. Final warning. This lady clearly didn't work here as she wasn't wearing an EB game shirt. Lady, you don't work here. I'm not leaving just because my parents want to keep me alive and prevent diseases. I'm staying in this shop for as long as I want. Don't disrespect me. You have to leave. I'm not getting infected by a 10-year-old boy. Get away. She screeched all of this. Halfway through screaming, she realized people didn't care, so she raised her voice a little louder, trying to get people on her side. Well, firstly, I'm 15, not 10, and secondly, you're not going to die because I got vaccinated. Calm your farm. Now get out of my way. The entitled mum opened her mouth to talk again, but before she could say anything, the cashier comes to check out what's happening. Is there a problem? He's infecting your store. He has vaccines in him. Get him out. I was just minding my business and this lady comes and starts yelling at me. You can even check the security footage if you want. No need. I heard everything. Mom, if you raise your voice again, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Before the cashier can turn and go take care of the massive line, the entitled mum screeches again. This is a violation of human rights. You have to kick him out now. Alright, woman, enough is enough. Get out of my shop and don't come back. But... No buts. I don't care how long you've been in here or why you're here, get out. The entitled mum reluctantly storms out of the shop, whispering something about the government, and I finish my shopping and go about my day as usual. The fact that there are people in this world like this makes me want to facepalm so hard my face falls off. Me and you both, OP, me and you both. I will never understand how she thinks that being vaccinated means you can spread diseases. Besides, it's none of her business. I'd love to see how she likes it if someone pries into her business. I guess this just sums up the anti-vax community. They're absolutely stupid with 1 IQ. Actually, you know what? 1 IQ is probably generous, more like -10. I reckon OP, you should have just coughed in her direction. That would have been a good show. Now for our final story, just a quick little one. Entitled mum forces her 25-year-old son to live with her. I worked with a guy who's about 5 years older than me. I was 20 at the time, so he'd have been about 25. He still lived at home with his parents because his mum wasn't ready to let him go. He had a 9 p.m. curfew and always had to have permission to go over to a friend's house. I was nice to him because I felt bad for him, and I guess in his mind that meant we were friends. So I got to know him slightly better than you would a standard co-worker. He did have a learning disability, so his entitled mum was concerned about me, but he wasn't idiotic or slow. He was a fully capable adult. The first time I met his mum, I knew there was no hope for this guy. She constantly controlled his every move. He couldn't eat certain foods because they'd give you gas, or I don't think you'd like that anyway. And he wasn't allowed to do anything without her permission. He had his license, but she drove him to and from work. She even ended up getting a job in the same building through a different department, and I suspect it had nothing to do with carpooling to save gas money. Last I heard, he finally was able to get his own apartment, but I still see them around town together. I never see him on his own. She'll even go with him to the bathroom at the county fair. And I'm 21 now, so he's got to be around 26-ish. He still works here and his mum is still controlling. His entitled mum ruined that guy, and he's going to be so screwed if she kicks him out and leaves him behind. Well, to be honest, OP, I think the risk of that is absolutely zero. There's no chance she's going to kick him out and leave him behind. She lives for him. She has to be around him 24/7. Your co-worker has to kick her out and leave her behind as quickly as he can. That poor guy, man. I hope he sets himself free soon. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this crazy episode. Remember, 10,000 likes on this video and you will see that security footage of the goats as soon as it's released. With that being said, don't forget to comment your opinions down below and subscribe to this channel if you are new. Also, binge watch all of my Entitled Parents videos right away by clicking on the playlist.